Welcome everyone to this very special occasion for us. This year we graduate 7 more. And I'm going to take some time to tell you a little bit about how Aya came to be, how it was invented, and how it has been reinvented over and over and over again as we are reinventing one more time. Is that okay? All right. So, Baba Allende said about how we did take up that mission to educate our own children. I want to say that we didn't intend to do that. We really didn't. We moved to Atlanta thinking they had a school. And shout out to Mama Taliwa Oluo of the Atlanta Progress Academy, who had had a school at the time, and who had actually partnered with Allende's mom earlier, Freedom Institute. And we were kind of in a hurry. We get here, and she had moved to Senegal, moved her school to Senegal. So here we were in a pickle. We did our best. We drove long distance to some of the independent schools, and then eventually Ife and Fina were in public schools on the west side. So that was kind of the impetus. It's like, I can't have our children deciding that they cannot learn anything. That was my cue, and we were off to it. So there was an Aya House. We then went on to Stone Mountain Charter School. Stone Mountain Charter School was the first charter school in Georgia. And guess what, y'all? This is a little known fact. They actually elected Bawa Kessa as principal. And we almost had the first charter school in Georgia as an African-centered school. We were trying to hijack it. And it didn't quite work. Actually, Bawa Kessa decided not to take it on. There had been too much hanky-panky. They've been doing too much funny things with the money. At any rate, we had that part. Then we were asked to come to Morris Brown College to be a practicum opportunity for their teachers. They wanted their teachers to have an African-centered practicum. Morris Brown, some of you know, we didn't know at the time, they were having extreme difficulty. So we didn't continue that, and we'd already given up our Aya House. We went to another building. Some of us know the old Florence Jackson. Shout out to Florence Jackson as a old vanguard. Somebody's talking? Somebody know Florence Jackson? African-centered school back in the day. At the time, a sister had a daycare running out of it. We were paying our rent on time, thought things were fine, and she was having difficulty. And we had to leave. So where are we going to go? He said, you know what? I think the ancestors were telling me that we need to expand. This ain't the first time we're talking about expansion. We need to teach as many of our children across this city, the country, the diaspora, the world. We need to take Aya's full-day curriculum to a web-based platform. I'm like, what you say? Like, what you talking about, Willis? Whatever, right? And now I understand that we didn't even have the word online yet. Virtual wasn't a word yet. We were way ahead of the curve. This was like 23 years ago or so. He said, yeah, let's do that. Let's get into the technology and do it. And I was like, I want to hug him. I want to touch him, you know. And let me just say, full-day school, not full day, but where you can have brick and mortar and touch them physically, I still think that's probably the best. It's certainly a good option. And if you can't get that, I mean, teach them any way you can. So I finally got to the spirit of it. It's like, oh, so actually there's some advantages to doing it this way. I remember thinking that if I were in a brick and mortar, if I were a teacher, go to a brick and mortar, and I wanted to tell them about Marcus Garvey, and I may have the thought, oh, I wish they could hear Marcus Garvey's voice. I wouldn't be able to make that happen in the moment. If I'm online, all I do is click, hear Marcus Garvey's voice. I got really excited about that. I started thinking about all other advantages, like we have to pay rent to a big building, which is why many schools close. Those big utility bills, you know, and then also we can have the best teachers in the world. And then eventually, like 2-3 years ago, like 40% of our faculty was international. Mama Wagwa in Zambia, Mama Asha in the UK, Serenova in Johannesburg. I mean, you know. So, and most important to me, that R. Daniel Cowell in Brandon, Mississippi could come to an African-centered school. In Brandon, Mississippi, there's not even a black-owned school at the time. And R. Daniel Cowell was so excited. he came to class, Ife came and told me that, so really black people can raise sheep, and Ardell Cows has a family farm, hundreds of acres, they raise sheep. She was fascinated. She was excited to know that. Ardell Cows was trying to find a girlfriend, and he was real excited because he got to come to school with girls in Atlanta. And simple things like how they're going to be online. Like, I remember some sister telling a young brother, he was rushing, came to class without a shirt. They're like, you got to go back and put on a shirt. So it was real. It became more and more real, and I started to see all the good in it. And then I got cocky. Y'all. I was like, you know what? Since we know how to teach our children, we can teach them better than most people can teach them face-to-face online. And we sought out to prove that. Mo. Let me get mine. I got Bible Kisses from. I couldn't make mine work. Okay, where do I want to go now? I want to go to a place of how in some ways Bible Kiss and I had to switch places after a point. Bible Kiss had been a consultant trainer around the country for years in things like, that are old words now, sometimes dangerous words, multiculturalism, diversity. What's that? DEI maybe. Well, I think that's a newer term. At any rate, and he that's how we fed the family. And he's like, nah, I gotta be home for my girls. And I'm so proud of him. You know, around middle school, he's like, I'm bringing it home. It's like we will eat what we can eat. And we're still building Aya, though. Y'all know that education is probably one of the most non-profitable businesses on the planet, right? And especially because you're always trying to give more, right? And et cetera, et cetera. So I actually then reinvented myself into a tax professional. It's like, I gotta go make money. Shout out to ComproTax. Anybody know ComproTax? Largest black-owned firm, tax firm in the country, and thanks for all of their support, because now we had another brick and mortar. And Ife, Athena could get a cluster site. Anybody remember cluster site? They could have a lot of children clustered around them. We always knew that they needed more children with them. That's one thing that we brought to homeschoolers. Sometimes children were tired of being with the same siblings or not, and they wanted more people. We could bring them that, and we're very, 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 very proud about that. So when the pandemic happened, we were ready, y'all. You know, a lot of folk were scrambling. Actually, just that we tell it all, right? There were some schools in Atlanta that were like, y'all ain't really a real school. Because y'all online, you know, y'all whatever. And then the pandemic happened, and we were so far ahead of the curve. We were able to increase population and really serve the students because we weren't scrambling to learn the technology. That was a big deal for us, and we're very, very proud about it. And then, that same year, August, y'all remember Bible Kiss's heart event. So, in terms of my reinventing again, it's like, oh shoot, can't close the school. It's like Bible Kisser gotta have rest. He's gotta study all about this hard thing so he can decide what he'll do, how he needs to do it. So I had to step up. Everybody remember Mama Fia stepping up? I'm so glad I did. I became so much stronger. I learned the passwords, usernames for 6 Zoom rooms. And before that, I didn't see any reason to do it. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I decided not to run away from tech. Then I really stepped up my tech game. I'm so glad I did because that's going to mean so much going forward. I started working more closely with the teachers. We all just jumped in and made ourselves stronger and better. The parents, big up to the parents that's still here. We got even more serious with parent training. We just kept on like stepping up. We gave Baba Kessa a little bit of room to come back stronger. Let me call out my good friend Lois Russell, oldest friend. When I called her on the day that Kessa had his heart again, she's like, and she thinks she's a prophet. She probably is. She says, Afia, really, actually, he's going to be stronger in everything he does. And I was like, I hope so. Yeah, I'm a little worried. And true enough, Baba Kessa was able to bring us Melanin Mastery. Melanin Healing Science. which is a big part of how he relates to his own healing. And oh my goodness, the students. I'm looking at Destiny over here now. Some of the ones who just stepped up as a associate, remember those Mellon Healing Science conferences, really put I on the map in these different cities. And in some ways we were reinvented again. And so I want to say that I'm so grateful for everybody who's been a part of that continual reinventing. And as we see it right now, we take all that we have with us. We take all that we stand on as Aya, our resourcefulness, our independence, our endurance. Aya, incidentally, is a let me think of the Akan people. Tell me out about Adinkra symbol of the Akan people, and it's a fern. So if you look at a fern, ferns are independent. They kind of grow the way they want to grow. They'll grow though. It's hard to kill them. They'll grow in rock, water. They'll grow in dry parts as well, and they do endure. So with that, we take it with us. I do want to say a little bit about reinventing and becoming. I've learned some things, and I had some notes, and I don't have them now. I've learned some things. And one is that it's okay to try, it's okay to do your best, it's okay to change up what you're doing, and just go for it, right? And I was thinking, some of y'all know that I used to have long locks. And I was thinking about how I used to get hit on a lot at the gas station. Don't tell Baba Kessa. Because folks love locks when they're long and flowing. It's part of that European indoctrination, long and flowing. When we're in the nappy phase, I call it a nappy phase, when it's just forming, and really we need to just let them do what they do and learn from the process that we're going. That's a harder phase for some of us. So I just want to say that that's been one of my greatest learnings, is to keep growing, keep learning, do the best we can, stand on what we stand on, and go on forward. And Baba Kissa, for a change, is telling me to wrap it up. I also want to say that some of my reinventing is that I intend to sing in Swahili, and that's a double goal, right? I want to speak the East African language Swahili because that's what so many of our people speak on the continent. I want to talk to our people. I also want to sing, and I want to speak more. I'm looking forward to speaking more. I thank y'all for listening to me today. And I also want to acknowledge my biological family that's in the house, my little sister Hope, and I want to tell her how important her being here is for me. With her in the room, my parents in the room, my father and mother. And it means a lot on this day that she has joined me and brought them with me, to me in spirit. Because, sometimes like with family, they don't quite understand what we're doing. And then they're sometimes not that open. And sometimes if we wait, sometimes if we just stay the course, eventually it can make more sense. And we certainly can connect how we can connect. And she and I connect on the strength of our parents and our long legacies on both their sides. And I hope I so appreciate you for making the trip. So everybody have a great time. Enjoy yourself.